So are we ready?
This is Jay,
This is A,
and this is Moxicated.
where we drop the booze and walk through the reality of life alcohol-free.
So grab your favorite mock, get ready to laugh, and let's get Moxicated.
Hello,
Hello.
and welcome back.
We have someone very special today.
Very special.
So special. I don't think you guys understand. We have our best friend,
Yes. Welcome, Abby.
Abby.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to be called the best friend too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
duh.
Yes.
Alcohol-free Abby.
I literally, before I told you I was obsessed with you, after knowing you for like 6 hours when I lurked you all night the night before, saved you in my phone as Abby alcohol-free bestie because I was like, I don't know her last name.
Yes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yes.
So yes, we have Abby here. We got the pleasure of meeting Abby. I keep saying it was like last weekend, but it really was over a month, I feel like.
Almost.
Or a
Oh
month
my
ago.
gosh. Time
I
flies.
know.
And on our Sober Moms retreat. So within seconds, we loved her. And so we knew you guys needed to meet her.
Yes.
So here's Abby.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
I'm so excited. I just changed my mic. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think, yeah. Okay.
Is it worse?
No. No.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Anyways, this is my intro.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So little bit about me. So I'm Abby Calabrese. I will be 500 days alcohol free tomorrow. I'm so
It's
excited.
so cool.
I know. It's so cool. So that's a huge milestone. I like remember putting it on my calendar so long ago as just like a little placeholder and thinking like, oh my gosh, that is so in the future. Like, who knows if I'll even make it that long? And then I'll see that. It might make me feel bad, but I was like, whatever, it's a future problem. So I can't believe I'm coming up on it. It's like really surreal. But yeah, I introduce myself on my podcast as a Bravo loving suburban mom. And yeah, I am like a New York City girl, though. I feel like I grew up outside of Pittsburgh and went to school in Baltimore, but I spent 11 years in New York and I just love it. I feel like it was like formative years. I love the energy. And I feel like once you live there, it's hard to live somewhere else because you're constantly comparing. But I'm in the suburbs now, love it. I have two little boys. They're 6 and 4, and an adorable dog who is so not well behaved, named Rusty Rose.
Okay.
And yeah, I run an Instagram, Alcohol Free Abby.
Alcohol.
And what is your podcast's name, ma'am?
Yes, the Alcohol Free Rebellion.
Love.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
When we met Abby, we fell in love instantly.
Yeah, it was. It was an instant love.
We talked about it on the retreat that she sat across from us at the first dinner, and I just think that it was very divinely
I feel like that
placed.
too.
Yes.
As we were all kind of coming in. Honestly, you were sitting with another girl, and my impression was that you guys were friends, kind of like Alan and her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, it just was like we just all started talking.
I remember it so clearly
Yeah.
because Allie was super talkative. And
No way.
Allie, I found you so hilarious. I was like, who is this girl? And I mean, just telling me stories and how your mannerisms, I was like, I love everything about it. And then
Thank you.
Jess, you couldn't have been more quiet. You were so quiet. I didn't know. I was like, is she okay? Like, is she into this? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the cutest thing, and this is when I was like, okay, both of you are my friends forever. I decided then too. Allie, we started talking about Bravo, and I was talking about it with the girl next to me that you thought I was with,
Yes.
whatever. And Allie goes, and I saw you do this. Jess, they're talking about Bravo. Get into the conversation. Just the most loving, amazing. I was like, I can't, I love you guys. Like it was just so like supportive in such a
It was.
sweet
Yeah.
way of like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you might be like feeling, whatever. So like get in this conversation. And then I was like, oh, Jess. And I remember like making eye contact with you and we were talking about BravoCon. And I
Yeah.
was like, I want to go to BravoCon with you and everything. Yeah.
Yes, no, that's so funny because I was eavesdropping on your and Amanda's conversation. I was talking to someone else and it felt like it was Bravo-ish. I wasn't even for sure. I remember being like, wait, what are you guys talking about? And then when you said Bravo, I was like,
Exactly.
here you are. Like,
Well, and the cool thing for me is too, and I've said this a lot, is like within my own personal circle here in New Mexico, the only Bravo people that watch Bravo is my family. Like I've never had peers or friends to like
Oh
get
my
into the
gosh.
juice with, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And so it was like an activation. Like I felt like I was like sitting there, not activated, like just kind of like
Yeah.
observing. And then she nudged me and it was all boo.
I
And then
know.
all of a
And you
sudden
like
I'm like,
entered the chat. Yeah. And then
like,
yeah.
from then on out, it was just like
Yeah.
game on.
And I
yeah,
But
had
that
no
was like the
clue
moment.
what you guys were
yeah,
talking about, but
it
I
was
was
the
like,
moment.
all right, well, you guys talk this. I'm gonna talk to mama over here.
But the cool thing was like no matter like the more and more that we got to talk, either the three of us or us in our own individual groups, like there was so much similarities, so much Me Too, so much
Oh, I
like
know.
sisterhood woven in it already
Yes.
for people that had just met each other. And I think for all three of us, like Allie kind of are cheaters because we went into it with like a little mini community. We're like,
Yeah.
haha, we're cheating a
Yeah,
little
we brought a friend.
bit. But honestly, Allie has a little bit more arm in the community because she has arms in every community in the world. In the sober
I can
community,
never be quiet. That's why.
like besides each other, we really don't have a lot. Again, same with Bravo for me in my own life in here in New Mexico that I can just relate to, not
Right.
only about not drinking, but like our life, what our life
Yes.
is like, and now how we handle that life not drinking.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And two,
I
I kind of,
quite,
oh, go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny because I was thinking about it when I was driving over here that you are kind of a mix of us. Does that make sense? Because you
Yes.
listen to the books, and so you and I
Yes.
talk
Yeah,
about that. But then sports, your sports, and then the Bravo. But like, it's funny you have both of our interests.
that's why we're
That's
obsessed.
why we're obsessed with you.
Same. I'm just like, this is it. Like, I just
This
like,
is it.
and part of me still has that like, oh, be careful, whatever. And now I'm like, oh no, I'm all in. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
we're
there's nothing to
in.
be careful about. Like, I feel like it was like a crash course in getting to know each other, and like we're in. Like,
Totally.
that's
Yes.
just, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, alcohol-free Abby, do you want to tell us about your alcohol journey at all?
I do. I talk about it
Mm,
You're
often.
all I do.
I
I
do.
do. I do. Yeah. I'm like waiting when I go out and like normal, it's like normal Pleasantville or whatever. I'm like, is somebody gonna ask me? You know what I mean? If I like have my like athletic beer, I'm like,
You're all showing the alcohol-free part.
yeah,
You're all, everyone? Anyone?
yeah. I'm like, surely someone is going to ask me about my journey, right? It's like, no, no one cares, babe. I'm like, cool, 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 cool. That's fine. That's why I
Yeah.
have my Instagram.
We all care.
Um, yes, I know. So yeah, I mean, it really is like a pretty normal start to drinking story. It was young. I mean, I think I was like 14 and just curious and stealing a little bit from parents or like sneaking into like a basement and stealing I think a Zima. Do you remember
Oh my
Zimas? And
gosh,
those like
Zimas. Wow,
yes.
my mom drank those too.
Oh, of course. And so that was like one of the first things I tried. And I was like, interesting. But anyways, it was just like here and there and more of like oh, that cut me out. Hold on, put this on.
It's okay.
Uh,
You're good. We can hear you. What's
okay, good.
happening?
Good. My phone just started going crazy. Anyways, so yeah, so I am like just drinking very sporadically at that point because you're so young. It's just like anytime that there's a party going on or something like that. I also had an older sister, so if she would throw a party or something, I was naturally around it. But I wasn't necessarily like leading the charge because I was always so much younger.
Yeah.
So once I got into high school and particularly into my senior year, high school was really, really tough for me, almost all because of my home life. Um, my parents were divorced. My mom is an alcoholic. She was never home. She was always out with her boyfriend, out at the local bars, like really never, ever home. And it was just so lonely. And my sister had moved out, and I was just there by myself all the time. And it just kind of starts to make you weird a little bit. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're just so, those are formative years to be so alone.
Yes.
And so in high school, it got like even worse with my mom to the point where she got a DUI. And we lived in a really small town, and she was like driving on the wrong side of the road down our main street of our town and almost hit a police car.
Oh Lord.
Wow.
So this gets around, right? That's one
Yeah.
of those small town. It gets around,
That's
everyone
like the
knows,
most
but no one's
biggest
saying
way.
anything to me. And, it was just really, really hard. And
Yeah.
I felt so alone. I felt really scared and I kind of closed in on myself. And that was like 10th grade. And I just like was kind of a loner, floating kind of thing. But senior year, there were a lot more parties. I got a boyfriend, and his house was the party house. And so, and he is a really kind, nice person. So like I feel like that kind of saved me in a way. So I know we're here to not talk about drinking, but it was like it got me out of my house, which was not
Yeah.
good. And I was in a safe
Yeah.
space to be doing it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the start of the drinking. But I went to school, huge party school, everybody's drinking. It was a part of everything. And the school I went to, it's a private school. I'm from a really small rural town. No one had ever been to the school. They didn't even know what it was. It's like a private Catholic university. I don't know what I was thinking. And I go, and everybody is from like the Northeast and talking about lacrosse. I'd never even seen a lacrosse stick. Like I didn't even know what they were talking about.
Us either.
And they all went to like these Catholic schools and prep schools, and oh, you went to Saint da 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 da, and you went to Saint da 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 da. I'm like, I don't even know what saints are. Like, I'm like, this is all so crazy.
Yes.
So I remember one of the first weeks, everybody's like kind of going around, like, hey, I'm so and so from Long Island, usually. And I just said, "Oh, we don't have to do this." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "We don't have to do these introductions. I'm going to transfer. I'm out of here. I don't even know what's going on here." Like literally
Yeah.
had that conversation with somebody and they were like, "Okay, like that's pretty extreme." So,
Oh,
yeah, anyways, I decided to stay because I realized just by like drinking a lot and I had the capacity to like, I don't know, I was called like a good drinker. I was like leading the charge. I could hold my alcohol. I could drink for a really long time. And so people liked that. They were like, oh, she's
yeah.
fun to be around. And
Yeah.
that really became like my identity. And so I was party girl all through college, all through my 20s. It led to some really hard times and just confusion over like who I am and how is this all going to turn out. And like I was scared with how I was feeling and not remembering things, so many like blackouts and really heavy drinking for a long time. And eventually it got to the point where we had kids. And so we were in this like New York City living, always out all the time. You eat dinner out, you eat whatever, to now you're in a house. And I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting. I guess we just bring everything here. And that's really the first time I ever even had like wine or anything in my house because we were just out all the time. So I didn't really have a need to
Oh,
have stuff in
okay.
my house. But I was like, all right, I'll just bring stuff in here. And so then that started the nightly wine and all that stuff.
Mm.
And just having kids, then you're up all the time. You don't have the whole next day to recoup. And it just really started taking a toll. And eventually got to the point where I was just so sick because this has been like years, decades of alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
I was so sick. I was like, I have to do this, or like I don't know what else is gonna happen. Like I'm either gonna get and it like have a DUI,
Mm-hmm.
hurt someone, hurt myself. I'm like crushing my body physically. And so I started listening to Suzanne's podcast, Sober Mom Life, and that was the first time I've ever heard another woman's story and been like, oh, she's like me. First time. Everybody I've met throughout my life, I'd be like, oh, okay, I get what you are. I get what that is. That's not me, but like I get what that is. And so my whole
Mhm.
thing was just trying to understand where people were and I could put them where they were and everything. But I was like, I'm not there. I'm the complete outsider. No one's like me. So I just have to chameleon my way through life so people aren't like scared of me.
Yeah.
And then I started hearing these real sober moms, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me. This is me. So that went on for a while of like listening, but still drinking, listening, but still drinking. And then eventually, after like a really bad blackout night, I was like, I'm just going to give the 100 days a shot. And during that, I dove into like Quit Lit and podcasts and everything. And I knew, and it wasn't easy, but I knew that I had to be on this road.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I just kept going. And then, of course, my personality or the personality types of alcoholics is just funny, is like more, more, more. So it's like, not only am I going to be sober, I'm going to fucking crush it. It's like, okay, you're going to have an Instagram and a podcast, and I'm probably going to write a book, and I'm going to like do it. It's like such an
Yes.
addictive personality thing. I realize that I'm not like oblivious to that, but at least it's for a good cause rather than
Yeah.
just like
Yes.
destroying my body and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hold on one second. Okay. Talk again.
I think it was, can you hear me? Oh no. Oh no. Where'd I
Try
go?
now.
Am I
can
here? Can you hear us? You
oh
can.
no.
Okay, now I can.
Oh,
Now I can.
yay. Okay.
I was gonna say, I think it's actually very important what you said about people. That's something that you and I have connected on, is a lot of feelings of loneliness in childhood.
Oh,
And like looking at something that saved your life, right? That obviously could have ended it.
yeah.
But it is so important in understanding why people make the decisions they make and how people get to the places that they get. Like for people that grew up lonely in their home, like to then be entered into a world where everyone thinks you're funny. You just have
Yeah.
to do a couple things and everyone's laughing at you.
Oh,
You're in,
totally.
you're invited to all of the cool places. You get to do
Yep.
it. It feels like a family that you never
Oh,
had.
yes. It felt like
And
my family. I
yeah.
was so connected to those, my freshmen. It was like a group of five girls in a suite, and right next door were a group of five guys in a suite. And the 10 of us were like this.
That's
And
like
I was just like,
Friends.
yeah, I was
Like the episode of Friends.
exactly. It really
Yeah.
was. And I was like holding on for dear life. And all the guys thought I was cool because it's like, this chick can drink
Yeah.
and just hang out. And I've always kind of been like a guy, I hate
Yeah.
when girls say that, but I kind of am because I like
Yeah.
sports and whatever.
Oh,
Um,
us too.
yeah. And yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, this is great. So like I can just like chill with these people. And like it's like hard to admit this, but like I didn't even really care about making a lot more friends other than that. Like I was just like, all right, I found my people. Like
Mm-hmm.
day one, basically, like this is good enough for me. Like, and when we went out, I only talked to those people. Like I didn't
Mm.
meet. Cause
Yeah.
like a lot of times people were like, oh, you went there? Like, do you know so? And I'm always like, let's not do this because like maybe I know someone's name, but like the chances that I'm gonna like remember anything about them or like
Yeah.
whatever, because I was just drinking so heavily. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even now, I get myself in trouble because I'll introduce myself to people and they're like, "Oh no, I've met you many times." And I'm like, "When?" Like,
Especially you.
yeah, no, and
Oh
I'm
my
so very
gosh.
now I never say nice to meet you. I just always say nice to see you and let
Nice
them
to
say,
see you.
"Oh, I've never
Never
met
met you
you,"
before.
because I've gotten myself in so much trouble for that.
Well, there's this one I'll never forget. And we were in Baltimore. So I went to college in Baltimore and I lived in Baltimore for a year afterwards. So a lot of kids were still in the area. And this one guy came up to me
We were like in a big group and he was part of the group and I was like, oh, hey, I'm Abby. And he goes, you have to be kidding me. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. And he's like, I sat behind you for an entire semester in like eco whatever. And I'm like, did you ever talk to me? Like, did you like we've
Yeah.
never talked? And he's like, well, no, but I've said, and I'm like, oh, what? And I was like so mad or whatever. He's like, I've also met you out like 10 times. And I'm like, well, that's my fault. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
take the L on that. But
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna just know you're sitting like 4 rows behind me in an
Yeah.
econ class. Like, that's ridiculous. But
I have that exact same situation. And he was like, you ate flaming hot Cheetos and Red Bull every day. You know how bad that is for
nice.
you? And I was
Eh.
like, well, why didn't you ever tell me? You never spoke to me. How would I know you? And gross, get away from me.
It just
Don't
speaks,
tell
Yeah.
people that.
yeah,
No,
it speaks to how much you guys like shine and stand out without even noticing, even back then.
in the worst way, flaming
Hey,
hot Cheetos
hey,
and
you
Red Bull.
still, people notice.
No wonder my gut is ruined.
Um, well, and I think that's like a thing too, the part of like I found this community that I've never had before. Like I've
Yeah.
never had a community before. I don't need anything else. I don't need anyone else.
Yeah.
And then so you have this mentality or whatever for however many years, and then you stop drinking, and that community is
Well,
what
it
is that
actually even
community?
it happened before then. So like this is my community, right? And so because that was so ingrained in my community, they were all mainly like New Yorkers. And
Mm.
so they all drifted right up to Manhattan after school. So I'm like, my community's in Manhattan. So I'm like, I gotta get to Manhattan. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And so I'm like working at like an investment bank or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I hate this job and I'm supposed to be in Manhattan. Like, this is so crazy. I grew up like in the middle of nowhere and I was like, I have to be in Manhattan. So I'm like, I gotta get there. So I quit my job and I bought a flight, a one-way flight to New York City. I packed everything in a suitcase and just flew to New York and took the subway. If you know New York, like took the subway from JFK all the way through, all the way up Manhattan, all the way. It took like an hour and a half on the subway. It's unheard of because I didn't have any money to my friend's apartment and he let me stay and sleep in his room because he was on tour with some like off Broadway production. So it was me and his roommates. They were like the best roommates I've ever had, by the way. They were these gay men. So every time I got dressed to it, they're like, girl, spin. I'm like, can I just live here? Like, I want to live
That's
with you
my
guys.
dream.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But yeah, so and I just like slept in his bed and every day I would get onto Craigslist and look for jobs. And I found this law firm that was hiring billing analysts. And I'm like, I have a math major. Like I'm sure they'll hire me. And so I made enough to just like pay for my apartment and just like did that for a while. And I was just like working for these like the top lawyers in Manhattan. I was doing their billing. And I'm like, how did I even get this on Craigslist? Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but just like
Wow.
trying to figure it out. But anyway, so that community stayed with me. That was college, that was New York. And then it like turned on me. One of the people in that core group, like that I met first day freshman year, she was like quieter and like not super popular, like never really drank before college, whatever. So look at me. I'm like, hey, party over here. I'm like literally the one getting the beer, everything. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna like take her under my wing a little bit, you know? She turns it around over all those years and ends up being it, like what she thinks is like an it girl or something. I don't know, and it's like forcing me out of the group.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then I don't know what's going on because I'm like drunk all the time and like such a mess. But she pushed me very slowly because I didn't know what was going on at all out of the
Oh,
group,
Mm. Ugh.
and then I
Ugh.
had no idea what was going on. So I'm like to everybody else, like you can't just let her push me out of this group. And they're like, we don't want to get into it, but like you need to figure it out with her because like if you can't figure this out, you're out of the group and then you have no friends. Like one of my like best
oh.
friends said that to me. He was like,
Names
all
and
right, so
addresses.
No.
Names and
I know,
addresses.
I know. He's like, all right, you're just not gonna have any friends then. I remember that exact conversation. I go, I'd rather have no friends than this.
Oh my gosh, Abs.
I have
So,
chills all over my whole body because one, that's just literally like so hard. Two,
oh,
you identified these people like as your family
Yeah.
when you
oh
didn't
yeah,
have
Right.
anyone
yeah,
before.
Right.
And so it's
yeah,
like
It's just like,
wait, what? And then not even knowing that it's happening, like that to me, because I've been there where I'm like, I didn't even see the signs because I
I
was
didn't
so far
know.
gone. And
yeah,
then you
Yeah.
and then you get insecure and feel like,
how did
well,
I not
how did I not
know?
know? Like I thought everything, and then
And
you
I'm
blame
mad at,
yourself and you're mad at
yeah,
yourself and you're like, no, this
well,
person's an awful person. I should be mad at them.
exactly. And I'm
And
mad as a
oh,
hornet. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
and so I'm not like thinking super rationally. So I like every time I see her, I'm just like, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
then I look crazy, and she's just like loving it. She's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
totally. Eating it
you're
up.
playing right into my plan."
Mm.
So she's still friends, and like like a bunch of those people, they're all friends. Like not so much the girls and the guys, but like the girls group kind of formed into some, and they're all still friends. So it's literally like I'm the one that isn't friends with all of them, and they still all hang out and do stuff, and I still like see that all the time. But like imagine I was so broken. I was in so many different pieces. Severe alcohol problem. Living by myself in New York. Like I have no friends. I have no like I had my friends from work, and so I leaned on them a lot during that because even people that were like tangentially related to that core group were like, I don't want to hear it, or like you're talking about it too much, or like one of them was like just flat out called me miserable one night because I needed to talk about it. I needed to
Yeah.
get out.
yeah.
And I was in therapy, but I was like, you are there. You're seeing what's going on. You've
Right.
seen from the beginning like what type of friend I am. Am I perfect? No. I did a lot of things that were not perfect, but like to completely cut me out of something that was like so important to me when I was so broken, like that is that's some
So
hardcore stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
I think when something ends like that too, you're looking for two things. You're looking for answers on why it happened, and you're looking for validation in the fact that like it shouldn't have happened or it hurts that it happened. And they're instead of being met with either one of those things, typically you're met with somebody shaming you for those feelings,
Yeah.
and it just sends you even more on a spiral. And especially when you're lonely and you have alcohol, that's just what you turn to. And so I'm wondering, like, after all of this, you mentioned your work friends, these lawyer guys. They're your,
Yeah,
they're
so
like,
I changed. That's
okay.
funny. No,
I was
I
picturing you
I was
hanging out with
picturing like
lawyers.
Wall Street. When you say New York, I'm like,
I was
okay,
picturing you with
I
like these
know what
lawyers.
these guys look like. I've seen the movies.
nice. Wait. So when you get to this level of lawyer that they're all in like their 60s and 70s. So this is even funnier to me that you
Yeah.
thought that these were the guys I was hanging
Yes.
out.
That's what I was
Like
picturing.
mwah, just keep it like that. I almost don't want to like correct you, but no, I was only at that law firm to like pay the bills until I got the
Okay.
job that I was eventually at for like 10 years. That was like a software company and I worked
Gotcha.
with investment bankers and all this stuff. So, no, my friends like that I made there were awesome because they were like in the exact same spot as me, like career wise, and we went through training programs together. So there was like a lot of camaraderie within the company. It wasn't just like a random company where you're working with people of all ages and stuff. It was like
Mhm.
truly like your age. It was like an extension of college
Oh,
almost,
Okay.
cool.
which was really cool. And so like that, it really got me through because those were some dark times after that group like excluded me. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like it was it was a really dark, low place for me. And I just remember feeling really scared. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't have a home to go home to. Like I don't, there's no, oh, go home. It's like, no, this is it. Like it's basically like the studio apartment in Manhattan. This is it. Like, am I just gonna
Yeah.
live here by myself? Like I couldn't see out of the current situation I was in. Um, and then I went on my first date with Mr. Michael Calabrese.
Oh,
Aw.
And he was just like so charming. Like I just remember being like, is this guy for real? Because I dated assholes. Like would just try to gaslight you from the first minute, like mean to you, try to like belittle you so they feel better and like kind of act like they don't even like you. Mike takes me to like the nicest place to get cocktails in Manhattan. The average age was like 85 years old. Like I'm like, who are all these old people? And like we're sitting there and I'm like, what are we doing? And I like order my drink and the drinks are like
$30. And I'm like, he better be like, I don't know, he better be paying. This is nuts. I go to take a sip of my drink, and it was a martini, and it had a pear in it, and like brown skin on the outside of the pear. And I'm like taking a sip, and he goes, "Oh, is that a potato they put in your drink?" And I'm like, "Oh, you don't go to these places either. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like,
I see you.
I see you."
Is that a
Yeah,
potato?
I love
God,
that so much.
yeah.
So your community like kind of went from your work friends to then Mike?
Yeah, and I still had the work friends. So I met Mike, or started that first date was in 2013, and I stayed at my job, that same job with all those people until 2019.
Oh wow, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so that like transition when those like college friends, that was over. Then I had my like work friends and Mike, and then like thank goodness Mike has like healthy friends. Like he met he
Yeah.
didn't really he knew of those college girls, but like the first time he was ever around them, because like they overlap very, very quickly. And it was like one last shot to hang out with them. And so he saw like how they treated me and just the weirdness of the whole situation. He was like, what is this? What are you doing with these people, kind of thing. And I was like, you're
Yeah.
right. Like whatever. So that's
Uh,
Oh, oh,
the New
well,
Mexican in me just wants to fight
yeah, we were gonna
those
fight
New
all of these
Yorkers.
people.
there's
All,
just like, and I'm trying to figure it all out. I mean, I don't know if you felt like this in early sobriety, but it really is like I've been plugged back in. All of this like haze. Like I feel like I was just seeing, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm finally seeing things clearly. I'm able to think through things. Like it's in
yeah.
every aspect of my life. It's like, oh, the fog cleared for the
Mm-hmm.
first time in decades. And so most of my time I'm just walking around thinking about things, or like I have all this creative energy. I'm like painting and drawing, and I'm like thinking through all different things, and memories surface. And I don't know if it's just like a Northeast thing, and like how I chose that college, and then kind of got into this network of like private elite prep schools and all of this stuff. But there, it is like people try to like manipulate and plan and social climb, and there's hierarchies, and there's like, oh, this is the queen bee, and you kind of have to like bow down to her if you want to get into this group. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want any of this. And I think I didn't know that that was an option, to be like, I'm bowing out. Like, I think that's all I knew, because I was
Mm-hmm.
so young. I was like 18 years old when I entered this. And then I'm in New York, and I'm like, I guess this is just how it is. And then it's like, oh, you can just opt out of that shit. That is
Opt out.
nonsense. Like, there's so many cool people out there that are repelled by that nonsense. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're hanging out with that nonsense, they're not going to want to get to know you, because they're going to think you're in that social climate nonsense, you know?
Dang.
Dang, I've never thought
Yeah.
about it like that. Abs. That's so good. Like you're like cutting yourself off of opportunities by the people you're desperately seeking and needing in your life by being
Yes.
around the ones that you know aren't good for you. Like,
I
Oh,
was probably repelling people, because they're like, or even if they knew some of those girls, they're like, well, if she hangs out with those girls and she's in all these pictures of them, like, she's not my type of girl, because those girls are awful, right?
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, inside, it's like, if you could like see what I was actually thinking in the photos, I'm like, help me, help me. Like, I I don't belong here. Like,
Yeah.
I one of the first weekends we went out in Baltimore, they're like, all right, get ready. We're gonna like go to this bar. I'm like, awesome. Just let me know when you're ready to leave, I guess. I'm ready. And they're like, you can't wear that. I'm like, wear what? I have jeans on, and I have my, like, if I was going out, I would wear this like black top. Like that was my dressy
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Yeah. We
Otherwise, I'd
have
have on like
those.
my gray or white t-shirt. The black
The
one was
black
like
one. The
going to the
one.
club. Yeah, yeah. Like I look hot. What are you talking about? And they're like, you can't wear jeans and a t-shirt out. I'm like, that's what I have to wear. And they're like, no, you can borrow stuff. Like you have to, there's a picture. I have to find it, because it's an actually printed picture of me and like one of those tiny little like Abercrombie skirts, and like those tank tops with the lace and
Yeah.
the, I'm literally standing, I'm like so awkward. I'm like hunched over, like I look like I'm being held captive. I'm like, but why do I have to wear this costume? Like, I just want to wear my clothes. Like, and
That's
they're like, you
true.
can't. Yeah, they're like, you can't wear that. And I'm like,
That's
oh,
social suicide.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what they told me? Me and my husband still joke about this all the time. They said, listen, your clothes are too daytime.
No, I will. Oh, okay, so real quick, just a little off subject. For us New Mexicans,
Yeah, I was gonna say
it is just like everything you're talking about
is unheard
is
of.
unheard of. And it's like it's in a movie. Like I've seen these movies happen and I've seen how they go but it's all just shows Gossip Girl, Sunken
No,
City. Like it's
Yeah, it's not real to
Revenge, the
us.
show Revenge. Like, like all of this is
People
like
don't actually live like
I
that to
didn't,
us.
yeah, because we're just like living in the desert with mean
We can
people
wear
and cool people.
we wear Lululemon. People are
Yeah.
like elevated,
Yeah. Wow. Who's
classy.
this rich girl
Look at me
in
in my
Lululemon?
Lululemon. I'm a classy bitch.
Yeah. But no, like it's just so vastly different.
Yeah.
But it's also like I honestly
Relatable.
it's so relatable and I love like listening to you. Like I just want to know more.
Yeah.
I do. I'm like, so wait, where did you guys go? Where did you wear this skirt? Like where I had a skirt like that, so would they like me? You know?
oh,
Like
for
like
sure.
all of that. And it's just I think it's just really cool to listen to also because it's like a movie to us, Like I'm like,
Oh,
wait, the Hamptons is a real place. Like
yeah.
people really
Oh,
go there,
oh my
And
gosh.
like that's not just in the show
Oh.
or talked about, but so it's just yeah. And you guys, when we met Abby, we were very open, but then on this retreat, we get really deep, like we got very vulnerable with all 24, 25 of us very quickly. We got to know each other very quick. We're all telling things that we've maybe never talked about with people we've known our whole lives. And so that's too why we got so close on this.
Yeah.
But even, oh man, I'm losing my train of thought of why I said that. But no, it's gone.
It's okay. It'll
No.
come back.
Oh, it's
Maybe you didn't, when you first met me,
Yeah, it was the
that's not
first
what you
meeting.
picked up, maybe?
yeah, no, dang it, it's gone.
I just feel too like I think it's interesting for us because you are so much like us, but you have experienced something so different. And I think vice versa.
Yeah.
Like we're so much alike, but based on where we've grown up and just a couple different life experiences, it seems like different worlds. And like, how can we all be so connected, but like you're telling us these stories and we're like seated,
Oh,
like we're
I mean,
like,
I don't know what the right analogy is. It's like I was like a spy planted in
I
this
love it.
world. Like,
Yeah.
because I truly was like, what is going on? I didn't even know what they were talking about. I didn't understand like phrases, school, like
Hmm.
all this. It was like learning a different language.
Yeah,
It
And
was
you
like,
just
oh, okay.
chameleoned. You just chameleon. Would you just act like like you knew what they were talking about? Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. And I would look it up. I would just research. I was like, I
Yeah.
can figure this shit
Yeah,
out.
you're
Like, this
smart
isn't that
enough.
complicated. But I
Yeah.
remember like hearing about Long Island and I was like, make a mental note to figure out where Long Island is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no idea. Like, I was like, is that New Jersey? It's probably New Jersey. It's like, no, it's not fucking New Jersey. But like, I don't know where any of this
Yeah.
shit is. And they didn't know
me
where
either.
any of my stuff was either. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I was an anomaly to them. Like, they had a whole sign up in the guys' room, and I like the guys. This was like good. It's gonna sound mean, and maybe it was, but I thought it was funny. But they said, you know, you're from Beaver when? Because I'm from a town called Beaver, Pennsylvania. Like, and it just kept getting longer. We had to keep adding like pieces of paper because I would say stuff, and they're like, what? Like, what are you talking about or whatever? Um, but like the one time I very naive. Like I'm realizing how naive I was too. Like I didn't think I was, but I had the TV on and the news was on. We were in Baltimore and it was like someone was decapitated in the city of Baltimore, like remains were found in a dumpster. I tore out of my bed, ran into the guys' room. I'm like, oh my gosh, turn on the TV, turn on the TV. And they're like, what? Well, what? Turn on the news. I'm like, someone was decapitated in Baltimore. And they're like, did you know him? What are you talking about? It's a city. I'm like, this happens. I'm like, people's heads get chopped off. Like,
Like, this is not normal.
freaking out. I was like, I don't belong here. I don't belong a place where people are getting their heads chopped off. And I was like, freaking. And they were like, okay, Abby, like, I don't, like, it's fine. Like, they're not going to chop your head off. Like, this is probably like gang related. Like, it's going to be fine. But, like, they could not get over that I was just so naive. Like, I just didn't know what was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fish
Yeah.
out of water.
It's so interesting too. Like I mean, I think it speaks to how intelligent you are. And I think a lot of people can feel like your story about masking and
Mm.
just continuously masking in all of your situations of like, okay, this is who I am now, or like, I'm going to look it up later. I'm going to figure this out to fit in, to fit in, to fit in, to fit in, to fit in. And then, like you said, you're at this place where like it's like you almost have to strip that all away once you become sober. Like
Yep.
you can't carry that with you anymore. I mean, I think that we all try. We're like, we're gonna bring our
Yeah.
persona with us a little bit, and then it's like, no, you
No.
actually can't. Um, actually can't. So it's a completely different way of connecting and fitting in. And what has that been like for you post drinking?
I mean, insane. I mean, there are sometimes I've gone places, I literally feel like I'm in middle school. I'm like, but what do I do with my hands? And like, what
Yeah.
is there a place should I take off my coat? I'm sweating so much. Like, should I change this? What do I do? What do I say? Like, I don't know that I didn't know the first thing. It was literally like me going into a social situation for the first time.
Hmm.
Me, someone who's like an executive who's like ran in like very social crowds, like what, like all this stuff. It was like all of that was gone
Yeah.
because every single time I went into a social situation, every single time I went right for alcohol. Not only that, I had already had alcohol before I went there. Like
Yeah.
it just kept going back. It was like, oh, okay, like I'll drink on the way there. No, I'll drink before I drink on the way there. And then I'll drink before but it was just like that's how I got ready. It was like my prepping myself up for
Yeah.
it. So it was definitely a fish out of the water, like no idea how to go about any of it. But that's short-lived, right? Because while it feels like middle school, you're not 14. You are, in my case, 39. So you figure it out a lot quicker than you would in middle school. And so it's just like, no, like just be yourself. Like just say things. I say awkward things all the time. I say weird things. I'm like, should I have said that? Whatever. But like I'm just figuring it out. And something like the retreat or the sober communities, that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Because if you just always feel like you're the one, like the outsider and whatever, like that's just constantly feeling awkward. So I feel like these sober communities and retreats and stuff, it's almost like a way to exercise that and figure it out and be like,
Mm.
oh, and like get more confident in who you
Hmm.
are and your sober persona and who you know, your identity. And it just all that kind of stuff really really helps me, and then I just have like so much more confidence when I go into situations that aren't sober events. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like F this, like I'm not like I have so much confidence in that now. So it was short lived, but at first it was like ugh. And I think people turn away then. I do have to say that. So I think people that try sobriety, it's like those first couple months and they're like, this is fucking awful. Like if I have to feel awkward like this in every
Hmm.
situation, or if I have like my life may as well be over. So like I'm just gonna go
Mm.
back to drinking because and it's like they're missing the memo that like, no, 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 you just push through
You
that
push through.
and you use community of other people who get it to like rally you through that. Like if I picture like running the marathon, all these people are like, go, go, go. Like that's kind of what
Yeah.
it is
Yes.
through those early months. It's like, oh, just go. I
Just go.
promise you, go, go, go. And that's why I'm doing my Instagram channel because I'm like, what would I have needed to
Mm.
see? And I'd be like, I want to see someone who's cool, who speaks their mind, who's like me, who isn't afraid, who's still having fun, who whatever. Like that's what I'd want to see and be like, okay, maybe I could do that then.
Yeah.
Because me, sobriety, even a couple of years ago, I was like, that sounds like the lamest shit. Like I could never, but it's not. It's really
No.
not. Like, if anything, I look a little bit at heavy drinking as like kind of lame now. Not
Yeah.
to be like whatever, but it's just like, oh, you just go away. Like I've been around some people since the retreat that are like blacked out, and I'm like, you just like went away. Like you just vanished from this. You're standing here, but like you've
Yeah.
asked me the same thing a couple times. I would have like it's like, ooh, that's not like a good look for you, kind of thing, you
Yeah.
know? And I've never felt that way about people that were too drunk before.
Well, it flips your mind totally. And I think you made such a good point, not to get all Jim bro on everybody, but it's like you have to grow your sobriety muscle. You have to grow it.
Yeah,
It's not just gonna be, you're not gonna be buff in sobriety overnight. And to
right.
use that analogy, it's not like, honestly, there is a lot of people, that go and work out in the gym one time and is like, if that's what it takes to have, the body I'm looking for, then I'm not going to do it anymore. But
Yeah,
the people that have pushed through realize, like, okay, or found their own way of doing it, or found
yeah.
something that works for them, or found a community that helps them through, because you are going to get to that goal, but it doesn't just happen overnight. It is a
No.
muscle and it has to grow and build, and you have to surround it by all of these things in order for it to grow. And if you hate doing what you're doing, also your muscle's not going to grow that way
Right,
either.
Yeah.
right.
You have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
Um, and where you can be vulnerable, where you're not wanted, or where you don't want to be, that's another part of
Yeah.
it too.
It's not about being miserable. It's not about like punishment. It's not about any of that. It's like no, it's like remove like get it all down to the bare bones. And that part is terrifying. And then you're kind of building. That part is terrifying. But if you get through the building and really stay on it and try different things and put yourself in these different like opportunities, all of a sudden it starts to get really, really good.
Yeah.
And I was explaining it to Mike. I'm like, after like a really good workout, and I'm in the car by myself on my way home, and like Celine Dion comes on. It
Preach.
is like it's a high. Like I'm like, oh, it's happening. I'm
It's happening.
experiencing like this dopamine rush. It's like all through my body. I can feel it in my face. I'm like singing my heart out, screaming these lyrics. And I'm like, this is it.
That's it.
And like that I can get there. All the alcohol shit that it stole so much from me. It's like I'm building, I'm making myself better, and I'm getting these hits of dopamine
Yeah,
that's what I used to, chase alcohol for.
totally. And I think that that brings like us to us and how we were able to form this connection. I think talking about the retreat, I've said before, and I've said a lot to the people in my life, but I think the magic of that is, women who have gone through the awful parts of giving up alcohol, who understand the depths of being vulnerable, being scared, putting yourself in new situations where you absolutely had no idea what was going to come of it, but doing it anyway. Like there's so much magic there. And I
Yes.
have found that and felt that, like, the things that you and I talked about on that walk, like there's people that have been in my life for years that don't know about me. Years.
Same. Same.
And it's just like that ability to feel safe and open up in the space of women, because you understand them just by looking in their eyes. Like you can see it, you can feel it. They may have lived a completely different life than you on a different side of, the country, but that connection is there. And I am very biased in saying that. It's okay. You guys can nail me to the cross for this, whatever. But I just don't think that can exist without the vulnerability that comes with sobriety. It's just
I
really
know.
hard, I think, because this is where my bias comes in. It's really hard for me to see how you can get to that level without just being the most vulnerable version of yourself that you can be, and trusting the people around you are going to hold that space for you, because that's a whole other point. And if you don't have a safe space in your life, like day to day life, like how are you going to know that getting vulnerable creates this beauty unless you find a community that actually is going to lift you up, that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel like you can share.
I mean,
Um,
that was my biggest thing. I mean, that's why I was masking and chameleon and all that stuff. I was terrified to be quote unquote found out.
yeah,
I'd be like I think I shared at the retreat. I mean, I hadn't shared this until then, but you know me, I'm an open book. So I used to lie what my dad did
yeah,
because and like my it's not even like, it I was just I wanted to fit in so bad. I
yeah.
was just like, please don't reject me. Please don't reject me. And my dad is an electrician, but I told everybody he was an electrical engineer
Ooh,
because I know, good one, right?
sounds good.
But
Sounds better than an electrician.
I know. And that was the whole thing. I was just like, I just want them to see me as their equal. And,
Yeah.
there was just so many shitty things. Like, I feel like you can tell from my Instagram, like, I just unearthed another memory based on what meme I'm posting. But it's like, I'll never forget the people that were hard
Yeah.
on me when I was going through hard times or whatever. It's like, you know what's going on. Just if anybody that's listening to this sees that, you feel free to DM me and be like, give me the tea, girl. Like,
Yeah.
what is that about? And I will tell you. But I remember
Oh.
this is actually really funny. I was dating this guy in college, and he's from New York. And like some of my roommates were girls from the New York area or whatever. And we were like in a fight or something like that. And I was talking about I don't even know if we were in a fight. I was just talking about like post college with him. And I was just like, oh, like, whatever. And she goes, I don't think it's going to work out with him like post college. And I was like, why would you say that? Why do you think that? And she goes, he's just in a New York state of mind. And I go, like the Billy Joel song?
Yeah.
What? What do you mean in a
Like
New
that's
York
a
state of
thing.
mind?
Yeah.
And like, what? Like, I wouldn't be allowed in the state of New York? Or
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? Like, but that just gives you an idea of like, there are a million comments like that. People thought that
Yeah.
they were better than me based
Yeah.
on where they were born, how they grew up, what their
Hmm.
parents did, and all this stuff. So, and I just ate it. I just
Yeah.
was like, that's nonsense in my head. But really, I was like, I need to get to New York and prove to everybody I can do it. I need to prove I can make this amount of money. I need to prove I can get this title. I need to prove I can. It's just like, okay.
Isn't it interesting how like you try so hard? You're like, okay, in order to get this result, these are all the things I'm gonna do. And you try them and you try them and you try them and you try them. And actually that result was obtainable by stripping all of that away and just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not, I
right?
mean, I've been thinking just, now in the space and addiction and all this stuff, it's like I just get it to such a different level. And I'm like, well, why don't they call it money addiction? Like that's what
Mm,
it is. It's just
totally.
acquiring all this stuff. And it's
Yep.
like if you see somebody with like all this stuff, designer stuff, it'd be like money addict over there. You see him sitting over there? It's a money
A
addict.
money
Because it's
addict.
like it's so crazy. It's like, no, I need more. I need more money. I need more
And
money. It's
then
like,
someone I was picturing someone showing up with like a Target bag and they're like, oh, what happened?
Yeah, did
Did
something
you go
yeah,
happen?
overboard? Oh, you're not buying designer anymore. Oh,
overboard. You did a little too much
did
with
you
the
have too many
money.
Louis? Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, you had a heart attack because you work all the time and like don't take care of yourself and never rest. And oh, you overdid it.
You overdid it.
Addict.
Oh, must be for the
Yeah,
week.
it's just like crazy. It's like, so who is this benefiting? Me
Yeah,
like killing myself to fit in, to make more money, to buy these things, to acquire.
right.
It's just like, who the hell is that serving? Not me. Like, that's for
No,
sure. And it's like, yeah, we all want to be comfortable. We want to have enough to be able to like live the lives that we want and do things and everything, but like to a degree. And like,
right.
and like someone who's listening to this will know if you're constantly looking over the fence to your neighbor and playing that keeping up with the Joneses thing and all, you need to make a change because
Yeah,
that is not it. You are not going to find happiness that way. It is just a pit of despair. and like stop. Like
Yeah.
that should be alarm bells going on if you're thinking that right now, because that's I fell into that hard and like
Yeah.
basically lost myself.
It's so funny. I was just going to ask you what your advice is for somebody who is trying to fit in, and then there you were just saying it. Do you have anything else that you would give to somebody who is feeling how you felt?
I always say to anybody who, if they're listening to this, like you should you need to give it a chance with the letting go of the alcohol. Like if you've even stumbled onto alcohol-free pages, or if you've listened to a podcast or just saw something, that's enough. Like
Yeah.
just the fact that it's like a glimmer of something, just give it a chance and
Yeah.
give it a small chance. Don't do something crazy like announcing you're sober and making an Instagram page. No, just like quietly do it, because that's too much pressure, and that's just like
Yeah.
our personality type, so I know that person would probably want to do that. And it's like just take it slowly, just take it one step at a time, try to get to 100 days, like never talk about it in terms of forever, or I'm sober now and this is my new. It's just way too much pressure. um and
Yeah.
then focus on finding your people. Like don't think that you have to keep bashing your head up against the wall with people that it doesn't make sense. Like I can't even tell you, I was just constantly fighting with people all the time. I was fighting with boyfriends. I was fighting with friends. I was fight constantly. And it's like that's not how it should be. Like not that there's never fights, but if it's like in constant, this isn't working and you don't really feel like you belong and you're like just stop it. Just
Yeah.
try to cut out as much as you can to get back to you and give it time to figure out, okay, what is it that I'm craving? What is it that I need? And be open to trying those awkward new things to put you in opportunities where you might be able to discover
Yeah. So good.
Great advice.
So, so good. What's next
that.
for you, Miss Alcohol-Free Abby?
Oh, so much. I'm like exploding with ideas. I feel like I text you guys all the time. I'm like, I have this idea, I have this idea. And then I text that, but then I'm also like, am I manic? Is this mania? Am I in like, I'm always like worried that like something's going on or whatever. I ask my husband that like 5 times a day, and he's like, no, I think you're bursting with creative energy. I think that that's like really good.
Way to go, Mike.
I know. So, yeah, so I run my Instagram page, and really the idea there is like inspiration, trying to be what I would have wanted to see if I was, kind of starting off where I stopped drinking. I like to just like have fun with that. My podcast. So right now I'm like a one person show, but I want to bring in guests and have conversations like this. I think these are just really helpful to listen to from a listener standpoint. Um, yeah, I'm doing events. I'm doing my first
Yes.
event next month.
Oh, we wish we could
I
go
Oh
know.
my
so
gosh, we
bad.
wish we could
Oh,
go.
I know. We will soon. We'll figure it out. So yeah, I'm just thinking like what kind of events do I want to go to? And I'm like, well, I'll just throw them. Like I'll just do it because it doesn't really exist around here. I'm in the
Yeah.
suburbs of Philly, and Philly has a great sober scene, but like the suburbs of Philly, like it feels pretty country out here, to be honest. It's like we're like it's I don't even have to see my neighbors right now. You know what I mean? So
oh,
Hmm.
cool.
there's
I can.
there's definitely like a need for it.
Yeah,
And
totally.
just kind of all these suburban moms. And sometimes
Yeah.
you feel like if there isn't an alternative, I guess I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. But if we make an alternative and make it like really cool and something you want to do, maybe that'll open the door for some more people. So kind of what's
Yeah,
on my to-do list.
I definitely think it will. And if
Yes.
you are in the Philly area, please go to her event next month. It's April, what day?
10th.
10th.
10th
Yes, I should have known that. April 10th. Sound bath
and yoga.
and
Hmm.
yoga and
Hmm.
alcohol-free Abby, literally
Yeah.
like three of my favorite things.
Celebrity.
I know.
Why does my child have to have a cheerleading competition? No.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we love you, Abby. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love you guys so much.
You're
Sorry,
amazing.
my little audio difficulties, but hopefully.
Never
No.
apologize. We
Yes.
love you, and our listeners will love you, and I'm sure they'll want to hear from you again. And so I'm sure you will,
Yes.
because we're never getting rid of
Yay.
Abby. She's going to be
Oh,
Never.
around
I
forever.
know. Yeah, and you guys
Um,
can be like my first guest on my podcast as I figure this all
ooh,
out.
we're so honored.
We would love
We would love to. Oh my gosh. Like a date.
to.
Yeah.
But yes, everyone go follow Abby. We will put all of her links and everything in our post. And just such a great conversation. I wish you were here so we could hug you.
I
Um,
know.
but thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Of
And
course.
yes, Moxicated Babes, go follow Abby. We love you.
Talk soon.